Welcome to Body Efficiency Training, and in this video we're going to be developing instant strength, and this still amazes me to this day, but we can increase our strength instantly just by using a better posture, because we're using the whole body structure to lift the object or do the thing we want to do. So how do we do that? Well, today we're going to work on 3 different movements, and these are practical movements to help us carry heavy shopping or lift something up or put something up on a top shelf. So these are household weights, nothing too heavy, and in fact we start with quite light weights. It should be easy. So let's start off by standing up nice and straight. Lock out the legs, squeeze the glutes, pull in the belly, lift up the rib cage and the shoulders, lift up the shoulders a bit higher, and now pull the shoulders back. And as you do this, open the rib cage, lean your weight back a little bit because your hands are in front, so you're counterbalancing your arms out front by leaning slightly back. Weight on the heels. Keep the belly pulled in and the glutes tight, legs locked straight, and just feel what that was like. So that was your whole body standing up nice and straight with your arms out. Now you pick up a weight, nothing too heavy. You should be able to do this easily. It's your own comparison, and just lift up the weight in front and feel what it's like. Drop it down. This is the comparison. So without thinking, you just lift it up. Now we do the structure. So you lock out the legs, your feet slightly out, squeeze the glutes, pull in the belly, lift up the rib cage, take your weight to the back of the heels. Now you lift up the shoulder and pull the shoulder back. And as you do this, you lever the weight up. So keep pulling the shoulder back, lifting it up, lift up the rib cage, expand the rib cage, and concentrate on pulling the shoulder up and back. Then you squeeze the glutes, keep the belly in tight, take your weight back a bit into the heels to counterbalance the weight, and feel how easy that is. So you should feel that a lot easier than the one you did before, because you're using your whole body structure. You're standing up straight, you're holding that tight, holding it with the muscles in the torso, and you're also taking your weight back. So again, lift up just normally, don't think about it, see what it's like. Now we've got to do it properly. So we first of all lock out the legs, pull in the belly, lift up the rib cage, sternum tilts up, pull up the shoulder, lever it back. Again, only do this carefully, feel your own body, not too heavy a weight. Keep lifting up the rib cage and the shoulder, pulling the shoulder back, squeezing the glutes, pulling in the belly, locking the knees so your thighs are locked straight. You've got a rigid, stretched up structure, and you're levering back with the whole structure to hold the weight up, and feel how easy that is. It should be a lot easier, and you should feel it through your whole structure right down to your feet. Okay, now put the weight down, loosen up for a second, just twisting left and right, feeling a nice spinal alignment. The spine has got to be in the right position. This is the most important thing. When you lift things up and do these dramatic movements, if your spine is out, that's when we hurt ourselves, injure ourselves. So you've got to always practice getting the natural S-curve in the spine. This is important. And then you hold that S-curve under tension by pulling in the belly, holding the rib cage up and back, and keeping even the obliques, the sides, pulled in. So the next one is hold that weight up in front, just like this in a bicep curl. You're just lifting something up in front of your body. Feel what that's like. Now we start to apply the structure. So you squeeze the glutes, lock out the legs, pull in the belly, lift up the rib cage, in particular the side you're holding, lift up the shoulder and pull it back. So you're pulling the weight towards you. So of course it's getting closer, so it's going to get lighter. We're using that, and we're also taking our weight back to the heels to counterbalance. We're trying to find the center of gravity through our whole spine. So that means you've got to counterbalance your body with the weight in front. You pull it closer to you so the leverage reduces, it gets lighter, but you're using the rib cage and the shoulder to lift up and back and hold the weight. It's not just the biceps. So try again the other hand, just easy how you would normally do it. See what that's like. You're just holding it up. Now we do the structure. Squeeze the glutes, lock out the legs, pull in the belly, lift up the rib cage, expand the rib cage, pull the shoulder back so the weight comes towards you. Keep squeezing the glutes, you're locking out the legs, pull in the belly, open the rib cage, expand the rib cage, particularly in the side of the weight, and you lever back, take your weight to the back of the heels to counterbalance. Now feel how easy that is. It's much, much easier. You feel you can hold this weight for a long period of time. And again, when you go down, you try and keep a nice S-curve. You squat down, project the butt outwards, so you're projecting the hips backwards, but squeeze the glutes. You hold tension in the glutes, so it's not the lower back. And loosen up again, twisting left and right, just finding the nice alignment of the spine and the skull sitting on top, and you're bouncing in the hips. See, all this needs, you've got to use the hips. When you go up and down, it's got to be the hip joint, not the spine. Now the next one, just hold the weight at the side. So it's like you're carrying a heavy bag of shopping on one side. Just hold it and see what it feels like. Now we build a structure. Again, lock out the legs, squeeze the glutes, lift up the belly, pull in the belly, lift up the rib cage, lift up the shoulder, pull the shoulder up and back. So now the weight goes further behind you. But feel a nice stretch in the rib cage, pulling in the belly, squeezing the glutes. You feel a nice stretch through the spine. The shoulder is up and back, and that stretch, the weight is hanging off this stretch through your whole body. So you're feeling that you're elongating, but you're in the natural S-curve of the spine, and you're holding it under tension, but it's a stretching tension. And now when you hold the weight, it pulls down against this whole stretch from your rib cage, and the rib cage pulling backwards. It feels different, it feels lighter, and it should feel quite pleasant. Now we do the other hand. I'll go from the back so you can see a bit better. So you squeeze the glutes, you've got an arch in the lumbar, lift up the rib cage, lift up the shoulder, pull that back. So now the weight is going slightly behind you, so that means you don't have to lean back so much, because that you're counterbalancing your forward position of the body by taking the weight slightly behind. Always in line with your spine, so the center of gravity is more efficient, and you're holding it up by this nice stretch in the spine, in the rib cage, in the shoulder. And you feel that just for now your legs are locked straight, so you're just feeling the structure, but of course you can also bend. So now also bend the knees and bounce a little bit in the hips, so you can feel the weight on the side of your body, but you're evening out that weight. Even though it's in one hand, you're evening it out through the center line of your whole structure. And you're holding the weight up not just with your arm, but with the rib cage and the shoulder, and most importantly pulling in the belly. The navel pulls into the spine. This is the TA muscle, the deepest layer of the abdomen, and you need this muscle to be held in, especially when you're standing up. It's a thing that we forget to do. We've lost that habit, but you need to hold that in a little bit. Just a bit of tension. In time that will become natural, but this keeps your waistline tight. It shrinks down your waistline, but of course now the question is internal organs. Well, they got to lift up into the rib cage. Now the last one we're doing is lifting something up straight from the ground. So you see the thing here. I squat down. So again, it depends on your mobility, but you squat as best you can, keeping the S-curve in the spine. And finish off now with a couple of deep breaths, big stretch up as you inhale, exhale, sink down. Trying to feel that nice alignment and stretch through the spine. Look up, stretch up, breathe in deep to the back of the ribs, exhale down, keep pulling the belly in. So now loosen up, shake up. Okay, I hope you found this little video useful. Let me know in the comments how you get on, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.